Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. Gonna begin momentarily. Alright. Hey, get brothers up in here. Let me share it. Hey, Shalawam, Shalawam. Alright, let's get into it, man. Shouldn't be a long one. But I gotta do a later live at around, what time that, brother? Around 7. So that's in about 3 hours. So we're gonna do this one right here real quick. So hey, let's get into it. Facing the east. All praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well, and sincerity taught us his truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3 men, women, and children, maintaining themselves, keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes to the best of their ability. All right, it's your brother Urami Kazak, back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Once again, the Father's name is Yahawah. It equals he is, he exists. That's what it means. Yahawashi is the Son's name. It equals or means he saves, he delivers, he is salvation. And Rakakadash is the name of the Holy Spirit, which equals a spirit that's holy. Rakah equaling spirit, Kadash meaning holy. Right? So put it all together. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. All right. And those are the names you need to come in the Paleo Hebrew. The Lashawan Kadash, to call upon your power, right? Which is a major part of salvation, man. If you don't have those names, then you don't have that protection. You don't have that vibration that's flowing about you, right? So it's extremely important to have those names. Now, a key component to this thing is fear. And I would say this would be the first component, all right? Because even to believe in those names, you got to have the fear, simply. All right, fear is major. It's extremely important. So let's go to Proverbs, the first chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. And it reads, the Proverbs of Solomon, Slakia, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. Now, understanding this backstory is that King Solomon is indeed Yahawashi. We understand it through regeneration, reincarnation, through prophecy, where it was stated in the book of 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. All right, this is Yahawashi, okay, just because of what had to take place. So the wisest man on the earth is King Solomon, being Yahawashi, that same soul, and then he would be outdone by himself, Yahawashi coming back, to be the wisest man to ever walk this planet, right? So it's a beautiful thing. Now, what did Solomon seek? He seeked wisdom. Now, what is wisdom? To fear the Most High, to get you knowledge and instruction. So this is what you should pray for. If you're out there wondering what I need to pray for, don't pray for carnal things. Don't pray for money, cars, clothes. Hey, these things are needed. Money is a defense. Cars needed to travel, to go to the job, whatever it may be. Clothes are needed to shelter you, right? Yeah, these are things that are essential to your life. And these things will be provided if you fear the Most High. Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. You fear Yahawah and Yahawashi, right? So you want to prioritize that wisdom, which will allow you to get these things and keep these things. I say this all the time. You could be a billionaire, but not have the wisdom to keep the money. Okay? So a fool with his money will depart. All right? Hey, Shalawam, my brother Yahawashi. Hey, we still going to do that lesson later on. I'm just doing a real quick one. All right, before we get into that later on in about 3 hours, I believe so, when the brother, get off and all that. So, keeping it going, verse 2. To know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall obtain unto wise counsel. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. Right? So with that being said, and I'm going to get it off my phone so individuals can see the verses. So with that being said, wisdom is because it's key. Just simply state it, man. Without wisdom, you're not going to actually take the instruction. You can hear the instruction. You can read the scriptures. But without wisdom, is it going to be sealed in your conscience? Are you going to have the fear that, hey, if I don't do this, if I don't keep this law, if I don't keep this understanding, am I going to do what I'm supposed to do? So it could be stated, brothers that, unless they're on restriction or they're suspended or something like that, if you are, an affiliate or a part of Great Millstone, whatever it may be, and you're not doing lessons, and you're able to do lessons, and you're not doing, then you truly don't have the fear, because you should have that fire burning inside to go forth and do what you're supposed to do, So that fear is what keeps you going. It's what keeps you pushing, and it's ultimately that wisdom. It would be wise to serve Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, would it not? Yes, it would be, So I'm going to serve him, man. I pray that in my prayers at night. I pray to let me serve you forever, right? It'll never be a time where I don't never want to be a time period where I'm not serving Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. Because I understand this is that head, This is that hedge of protection that has sheltered me and kept me throughout my life, throughout my lifetimes, may I add. All right? Yahawashi, that I'm in a righteous lot. Okay? Verse 7. The fear of Yahawah is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Going back to, you have to, those that are wise, they will love that instruction. They will love that wisdom. They will love that knowledge. So what will that equate to? That will equate to them growing larger, growing bigger, growing of more understanding. That does not mean in a financial sense. That does not mean in a resource sense. That does not mean in a property sense. No, it means in wisdom, in understanding, in a know-how sense, knowing what to do, knowing with the resources that you may obtain, knowing how to distribute them, right? Knowing how to give them out, knowing when to use them and when to not. A great poker player knows when to hold them, when to fold them, when to put it out, when to hit, etc., right? You're not just being hasty in your actions, being hasty in your movements. And, what does a wise man do? He sits back and examines the entire matter, okay? That's from that wisdom. So you have to examine things. That's just simply coming through wisdom, man. All right, let's keep it going. Proverbs 1:20. I get that for you, bro. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. So yeah, I love to bring it out. This is one of my favorites, this whole little section. All right, because wisdom is crying out, and that's furthermore letting you know that the voice of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi is coming through his prophets, which are in the streets, which are crying out, which are bringing it out. All right, that's Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. Shalawam to the brother of Barak. He's not in here, but he did a lesson titled, "We are possessed by the Lord," man. We are possessed by Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, and we definitely are. Okay, so when you're bringing it out, when you're preaching, when you're teaching, you're in a sense of being possessed. Now that's on the right hand side. On the left hand side, Don't these individuals be possessed by demons? Yes. Aren't they possessed by spirits? Yes. So you have certain spirits that overtake you. We have the Holy Spirit that's dwelling in us. They have a wicked spirit, a tainted spirit, a manipulative spirit, a malicious spirit that they channel, they bring through. Look at Beyonce with the Sasha Fierce. She was channeling a demonic spirit. You understand that? That's what a lot of these artists channel when they go on and perform. Some of them, they don't make music unless they're high, man. All right, higher than a kite. That's the only way that they can perform. That's the only way that they can make music. They're not real artists. They're not creative. Okay? I remember, because my background is an artist, I used to have to smoke, you know. I thought I made my best music off of smoking. But no, I definitely did not. Because I would do that, and then I would go and mix the songs. I would come back sober, and I would be like, this mix is trash. You know? Understanding that. So coming into this truth, you don't need these type of things no more, man. All right? Those things was impure. It was an impure type of spirit, type of vibration that you were channeling. All right? We are always dealing with certain type of spirits. Okay? So let's keep it going. Let's go to Proverbs 3 and start at 1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thine heart. So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of power and man. Trust in Yahawah with all thine heart and lean not unto thine own understanding. Okay, so for babes that's coming into this thing, you know, slowly, and you're gaining the laws, commandments, and statutes, you're learning not to do this, learning not to do that. Okay, what you learn and what you know, you would be tried based upon that. If you did not know something, like, hey, it's winked at in a sense. But when you are corrected on it and you have the understanding that this is incorrect, then you are furthermore tried. You know, like, hey, if my daughter, she's 2 years old, man, if she goes and I'm playing the Xbox, right, and she cuts it off, you know, I can't really get on her because she just saw a light glowing and she just, ooh, what does this button do on some DD shit? She just, buke, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to yell at her, but I'm going to be like, hey, why'd you do that? You can't do this, baby. I'm going to show her, hey, don't touch this button, okay? When this button is on, don't touch this button. Boom, boom, boom. Now, if she does it again, then I might spank her hand just to give her a furthermore understanding not to touch this button, right? And if she do it again, hey, you know what I'm saying? So it's... One second. What was that? Sit down. That was the side yelling? Yeah. Oh. Y'all early. Oh, it's 4:30. Man, time been flying. All right, Salahia, y'all. Let me get these precepts. But one that came to mind, let me get it real quick. Is Acts 17 and 30. And the times of this ignorance power winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent. All right, so you're repenting from what you did, what you knew was wrong. So as you grow and you learn more, then you know more. You know, this is why we are commanded to be studious and to learn and to grow more. Now, are you going to learn all the 613 laws in one night? No, you're not, bro. All right. As the scriptures say, much reading, it brings weariness to the heart. It brings, much sorrow. The more that you learn, the more that you grow. Matter of fact, let's go back to that. And then I'm going to get y'all brothers precepts because y'all dropping a lot of them. Okay, what's that? Proverbs. No, that's Ecclesiastes 1. Towards the end. All right, I'm going to read 17, going to 18. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Right? And that really wasn't the one I got, but that also applies, because the more that you read and understand and know the scriptures, the more you're gonna feel that vexation. The more you're gonna feel that sorrow, right? You're gonna have the comfortability to know, hey, we almost up out of here. But you're gonna also have that other side of, I hate this place. I extremely hate this place with a passion. You know, if you don't have that, then I don't think you was fully getting an understanding of the scriptures. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right, now let's get y'all precepts real quick, and then we'll get back to it. The brother Kakuma got Jeremiah 10, 23, and 24. O Yahawah, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. O Yahawah, correct me, but with judgment, not in thine anger, lest thou bring me to nothing. So with that being said, understanding that, hey, the brother brought it out yesterday. Let's go there. Proverbs 16 and 3. Commit thy works unto Yahawah, and thy thoughts shall be established. So you want to, every aspect of your life, you know, apply the scriptures, filter the scriptures, use the scriptures. Okay? You know, you don't want to do anything without consulting with Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. They love to say in the world, what would Jesus do, right? Well, honestly, what would Yahawashi do? Okay? So consult with the scriptures. Think about it. Start having a biblical type of mind. What does Jeremiah 6 and 16 talk about? Going back to the old paths. So you're going back to the ways that are righteous and are beneficial to you. You know? So that's why it's extremely important to actually apply yourself to reading, to studying, to growing. You now have, you could watch certain things, man. I watched the movie Joseph last night, and it came to my mind, like when the Egyptian, when Potiphar's wife was trying to mess with Joseph, was the laws already written? This is a question to the comment board. Was the laws already written? Did Moses already give us the laws when Joseph was being tempted by Potiphar's wife? Yes or no? Relaxed Mood said yes. She said the laws was... Kakuma said yes. So Moses already gave us the laws when Joseph was dealing with Potiphar's wife? Did y'all hear my question correct? Okay. Exactly. No. Yeah, Moses didn't give the laws yet. Okay. But just off of verbal repetition, yeah, bro, it's all good. Just off of verbal repetition and the laws being passed down verbally, coming from Adam, going to Seth, going downward, you know, Noah passing those laws to Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And furthermore, Shem, his name is name. So the name and that chosen lineage was preserved through that lineage, through that line, right? This is why Abraham would come out of that line. Isaac would come out of that line. Jacob would come out of that line. And Jacob also had Joseph. So that way of understanding, that way of dealing with a man's wife was kept in that line. As you can see, Ham being disobedient, okay, he did not teach his sons and daughters to not do this act. So when Potiphar, right, his wife, which would be a Mizraim, an Egyptian, would come on to Joseph, she did not think it was wrong. Adultery. She was just wicked. This wasn't this, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't verbally keep these type of things. These heathen nations are berserk, man. They're not moving in the correct way. But we kept things verbally until they were written down in stone, right? But Joseph being a wise man, most definitely, listening to his father, he kept the laws. He kept what was taught to him. Take on instance, it's a great movie, man. It's about 3 hours, but it went through a couple situations that went down. The situation that happened with Dinah, the sister, right? And Simeon and Levi and the brothers, they went into the town and they unalived everybody and they took the sister back. Now, the sister had got raped, okay? She got raped. What did those Hamites agree to do? They agreed to get circumcised and agreed to, he wanted to take Dinah as a wife. So he made her an honest woman because he took her virginity and he was going to follow our customs to make her an honest woman. So he went through the circumcision, things, all right, as it was commanded, even though they were heathens. Okay? But Simeon and Levi had on more so, nah, you ain't about to, you just took my daughter, you just took my sister like a harlot. Boom, boom, boom. But according to Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, what he did was, hey, you know what I'm saying? But that child would have been a bastard to things of that nature. And this is why certain laws is written. But under that custom, if it was an Israelite and you took that woman like that and you went forth with the whole ordeal, you paid the father the shekels, you did what you were supposed to do, then it would have been lawful. That would have been your wife. All right? So you got to, just keep in mind to the correct way. Because Jacob was pissed off at Simeon and Levi, Also with Reuben, same thing happened in the movie with Reuben messing with Bilhah, which was incorrect, which was improper. This is why he no longer had the rights to be the head when he was the firstborn, because he went into what his father possessed. He went into his father's concubine, which was wicked. So it goes back to just knowing what's right inheritedly. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what's right inheritedly, man. Like, I know I don't supposed to lay down with a damn donkey, man. Okay? I knew that off rip. I don't need the law to tell me not to do that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, do you know good or right? Now, some things, yeah, you got to be taught, but I know not to unalive my brother. Like, these things, we have a law to us, like, just off rip, because we are those people. We are those people. So it's like the soul cries out, And that's because if you're committing your works unto Yahawah, thou thoughts shall be established. So that furthermore lets you know, not to, say that we are in a righteous lot, but we pray that we are in a righteous lot and that we committed our thoughts and our works unto Yahawah. So our thoughts shall be established every single regeneration, reincarnation, man. And Salaki if I was ranting. All right. So it's like, and I always like to go back to say, man, certain things is just straight common sense, man. Certain things is just straight common sense. Okay? You don't need a law to tell you that you shouldn't steal. But the law is there. The law is really there for the sinner. It's like, bro, you don't lie. That's simple. Why the fuck is you lying all the time? Why is you stealing? Why is you committing adultery? Can't you feel it in your soul that this is wrong? Romans 5, 3 through 5. And matter of fact, before I go there, let me get that. Let's go to Galatians. Galatians 3 and 24. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Hamashiach, that we might be justified by faith. So it was a schoolmaster. It was teaching us, right? Now we're in a different type of period. Yes, we will keep the law 100% in the kingdom. Don't get that twisted. And we still keep the law now to the best of our ability. Just stating that because we're in captivity, we can't keep it perfectly, as we never could keep it perfectly. We kept it always to the best of our ability, in a sense. All right? So the law is a schoolmaster to bring us into what we used to be in the garden, when it was no law written down, it was just verbally given to us because we always knew righteousness until we started dealing with wicked ass Esau, man, being a serpent. And that wickedness came unto us. Esau will never rise back up to give us wickedness again. This is a beautiful part of what we're about to enter into. Romans 5, 3-5. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of power is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us. Going back to the Rakakadash, man. Going back to these things, patience, right? Not to be in haste, not to overdo it, to think out a matter, to examine yourself to see if you be in this truth, right? To really think. Actually take some time and think on something. Let me think on it. Don't just make your decision right then and there, right? So you don't want to be hasting anything. This is a very important part in time of our life, a very important part of our existence. So don't make no decision that you would ultimately regret. Habakkuk 3-2, coming from the same brother. O Yahawah, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahawah, revile thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. God. And that's going back to that fear. Knowing that Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi has the power to unalive you. And you'll be like, well, I didn't do. Yes, you did. You did something. We all did something that is a sin unto death. We all committed a type of sin in that manner. We all messed up to the point where we should be took out. The only reason that all of us are here is because of mercy. It's because in wrath, Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi remembered mercy, man. He kept us, right? To bring us to a position of understanding. So in our ignorance, he looked at us and brought us to a position of understanding. This is why, hey, apply that to your brothers. Apply that to sincere brothers, man. When they're in a position of ignorance, you want to bring them to a position of understanding, if it be possible, you know. Psalms 119 and 105. Let's get that from the brother Endure All. Shalawam, bro. None, thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So this word, once again, the laws, commandments, and statutes, these ways is to help us and to get us to where we need to be. All right. So without this, without these scriptures, we ain't, and it's all Yahawashi. That's why we read the law was a schoolmaster to get us to Hamashiach. So it's all Yahawashi. And Yahawashi will get us back to that everlasting life, that everlasting body, that paradise which we seek. You know? Let's get this from the brother James 3:17. And it reads, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy, and the fruit of righteousness and sown in peace of them that make peace. Exactly. That's beautiful. So nothing that the Most High created is evil, is in the sense like is bad for you. Okay? Because I say evil, but Salakia, because, you know, evil is the elder said it earlier, you know, today. When I was watching Elder Apostle Gobar's live. And we had to know wickedness to know righteousness. Right? So in your ignorance, when you was wicked, when you was doing whatever, you had to know that time frame. It had to be a time where you was foolish. You know, where you didn't know wisdom, where you didn't have the fear of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. So when you're in this time frame of your life, it's far more cherished. You're far more fortunate and grateful to be in your right mind. You know, and you can look back at, or you can look at your brothers and sisters or your cousins or whoever it may be that's not in their right mind and be like, man, the water Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi for getting me to this point and dealing with me. This is an ongoing thank you process. The water, man. You know, every single day. All right, James 1, 3-4, coming from the brother Kakuma. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Exactly. Scripture comes to mind. Don't envy your oppressors. Don't envy the heathens. Don't envy the strangers. And don't envy your brother. That's why you don't covet what your neighbor has. We don't want for nothing. Even though, you know, hey, we may have certain bills and things that we can't pay, stuff like that, whatever it may be. But ultimately, in the spirit, in the latter end of things, we don't want for nothing, because we are the most rich on this planet. We are the greatest people on this planet, in this universe, man. All right, Yasharahla. Looking at that, we are those people, man. You know, that the Most High is ultimately dealing with. He has to chastise his people and put that fear in his people so they will serve him correctly and properly. How any good parent has to do that. Because without that, that child won't know the correct way to go if you did not instill that fear into them. All right, Sirach 2, 5-6 from the brother Kakuma. For gold is tried in the fire, the water up, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. If you go through these situations and you can't realize why you're going through it, because he's trying to refine you and clean you out and break these flaws up out of you, you know, then the fear, you can't really say you got the fear of him. You just like, it's just whatever. You know? So what will happen? If he really, you know, want to deal with you, you're going to go through another situation and another situation till your hard head get it, you know? But if he's not dealing with you, then he might let you get rich just to bring you down low in Jacob's trouble, right? This sweet life you've acquired, that's your consolation. That's why you don't want to be millionaire and billionaire and all that mess on this side. You don't, you know, some brothers may be well off and still love and serve Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. Okay. All right, but we not going to be no millionaires, bro. Like a Bishop Nathaniel. We're not going to do that. All right? We forsake the riches. We forsake that famous life. We forsake all that type of stuff that this world offers us. Okay? We could have took many different paths, but we chose the correct path, which is serving Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. You know, and you should be proud in saying that. Because what? That's the fear. You chose the fear. Okay? You chose the fear. This is Baruch 4:28. For as it was your mind to go astray from power, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy with your salvation. So what is that? That's a parent putting you in that punishment, putting your nose in the corner, all right, getting that whooping with that switch, okay, feeling that pain, you know, to the point you can't even sit down, you know what I'm saying, to remind you not to do that shit again, okay? Then, hey, it betters you, though, because it instills discipline, it instills diligence, it instills fear, it instills wisdom. So you get beat to give you wisdom because you lacked it. We all lack that ultimate wisdom. This is why we're growing it, and it's building us up. That's the refinement moment, man. You know? Let me keep it going, see what brothers got in the comments, and we're going to get back to it. All right, if somebody talking crazy in the comments, man, hey, deal with them. Try to be cool with them for 2 comments, but if they can't get it, just get them up out of here. All right. This brother said one ISUPK member brought a Lamborghini. Hey, that's what it is. That's crazy. Okay, that's what it is. But hey, I'm gonna tell you, brothers and sisters, right now, be wise on how you spend your money. Okay. That position of myrrh, that position of partying, that position of rejoicing, that's not what you're supposed to be in. That's not wise. It's not wise to do that. You saying that, I would have to actually look into it to verify it, but it is what it is. Okay. That wouldn't be a wise move, right? With what we're going into, what we're about to face. Okay. And this money ain't shit anyway. Okay. This is gonna very soon be turned to digital money, and they're gonna be giving you a monthly stimulus. They're gonna be giving you a monthly allowance of like $2,000, $3,000, and you gotta spend it all in that month. All right, and that'll be it for you. You understand? This is what everything's about to turn into. Okay, a social credit score system. All right. So let's get this Sirach 11:21, and then we're going to get back to it. Marvel not at the works of sinners. Hey, perfect for that point. But trust in Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, on the sudden to make a poor man rich. Exactly. To make a poor man rich, man. And money should not be your thing. Money ain't what we're really searching for, because money is pointless. All right, who you gonna serve? You cannot serve Yahawah and Mammon. This is Luke 16:13. No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve power and Mammon. So you have to have 100% fear in the Most High. We don't fear no damn devil. We don't fear Satan. We know that Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi is operating this man. He's allowing this man to do what he does. Right? So with that understanding, we have no fear towards the YT man and every invention that he brings upon us. Every device. Matter of fact, let's get some precepts on that. This is Ephesians 6:11. Put on the whole armor of power, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, the strategies, the ways, those type of things that he's bringing upon you. We're not scared of robot dogs and, robot men and all this type of stuff, drones and all this type of stuff that Esau may bring upon us. 15-minute cities. We're going to what? We're going to use wisdom in these times. This is why, hey, brothers, y'all need to be able to walk at least 5 miles, man, without falling out, man. Okay? You're going to have to be moving as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay? I'm not really taking questions right now. I will take questions at the end of the lesson. If you are sincere, you can wait towards the end of the lesson, and I will answer any questions that you may have. All right? Now let's get back into the lesson and Thawada for all the precepts. Okay, I wanted to go to Proverbs, the fourth chapter. But before we go there, let's go to 1 Samuel, the 12th chapter. Verse 22. For Yahawah will not forsake his people for his great name's sake, because it has pleased Yahawah to make you his people. Moreover, as for me, power forbid that I should sin against Yahawah, in ceasing to pray for you, but I will teach you the good and the right way. Only fear Yahawah and serve him in truth with all your heart, for consider how great things he hath done for you. But if you shall still do wickedly, ye shall be consumed, both ye and your king. So you got to serve Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man, truly and sincerely. Don't come with no wicked intentions. Don't come with, you're trying to be the man in Israel. You're trying to be the most famous Israelite. All right? You trying to be, you trying to get on all the podcasts, etc., etc. Okay? like Israelites that hold debates. You acquire lives and you set up your live predominantly with the intention of debating. That's incorrect. I'm not here to debate with anyone. All right, as y'all can see, man, lately I'm not really addressing comments anymore. I'm that part is I'm over. Right? Y'all brothers in the comments, y'all got it. Right? You know, sincere questions I do take at the end of the live, sometimes at the beginning of the live, or if it's a Q&A, I will take questions, but this is not a Q&A platform. I'm trying to move more organized in this, right? And more so applying patience and understanding and wisdom. This is not a Israelite pay-per-view on demand, right? We are bringing out things and we have core sheep that come every single day and get fed, you know? And I don't want to distract those core sheep or what's the word, deprive them of food that they should be getting by distractions and debates. That's not what we're here for. Because that will put in their mind that, hey, this entertainment type of aspect of the truth, this is it. No, we're not here to entertain. We are here to explain, teach, prophesy, and let our people know this truth, man. You know, so let's keep it going. We are not here to debate. Let's go down to the book of Proverbs. Matter of fact, let's go to Psalms. I'm just hitting some on the way there. And let's start up a little bit. Now, this is talking more so about Yahawashi and ultimately what's going to take place. This is Psalms, the 2nd chapter. All right. I will declare the decree Yahweh have said unto me, thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed. Ye judges of the earth, serve Yahweh with fear and rejoice with trembling. Who are the judges of the earth? That's my question to the comment board. Who are the judges of the earth? Anybody got that answer? Khan, Yasharahla. Exactly, Yasharahla. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. So we're putting our trust in Yahawashi, the Son, ultimately, right? And we are, and we will be the judges of the earth. Now, furthermore, going into that position, we have to fear Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi and rejoice with trembling. This goes into you working out your own salvation with fear and trembling, right? So fear is a massive part, man. It's a major key. All right, brother got that Proverbs 8:36. Let's get that. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death. Right? So you got to fear him. You fear him, get that wisdom, and then you'll learn to, you'll grow and you'll love him. Loving him is keeping the laws, commandments, and statutes. Right? So it's extremely important for you to first understand who you're dealing with. Who you are dealing with. Let's get that, we persuade men. This is 2 Corinthians 5:11. Knowing therefore the terror of Yahweh, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto power, and trust also are made manifest in your consciences. So through that terror of Yahweh, what is that? That's fear. So by fearing him, this is not someone you are equal to. This is someone you have to bow down to. Bow down to someone that's greater than you. right? This is why this is a humbling position. Okay? Now we're going to end it over here in Proverbs, the 4th chapter. Hear ye, children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my law. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live. Now, growing up, I feared, I ain't really have my dad, I fear my dad though, but I wasn't really around him. I was more so around my grandfather. And he was an austere man. He was a strict man. Yell at me, I would cry. You know what I'm saying? But what it do? Over time, as I grew, I was able to take the yelling. I was able to take the austereness to the point where I know what's required of me. Now, did I have fear when I was around him? Yes, I didn't want to mess up. So I had that fear because of his austereness. This is what we're talking about with Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. That austereness that you're bringing to the table. That's how older men are. Because these are the old paths, to be strict and austere. But it implies and it builds for a better environment. Because you're not going to be around. I wasn't going to be around my grandfather lagging around and being lazy and things of that nature. No, I'm going to be on point. I'm not going to slack. I'm going to be serious, because that's the attitude that he's bringing. So I feared him. So that instruction that he gave to me, I took it with all seriousness, with all diligency. If he tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make sure I did it right. All right. Keeping it going. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou doest embrace her. You just gotta really chill out and get a full understanding of what's going on, what's taking place, what you're reading. When you break down things, look at yourself, man. If you're doing a whole lesson, you ain't bring out no precepts, I would, really, I wouldn't post it. All right, you gotta bring precepts out, or at least be speaking based upon a precept, be speaking based upon something that's biblical. Our life is now. It's spiraled around Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. It's spiraled around our husband. Yeah, roughly paraphrase, roughly phrase. Always keep those scriptures running from your mouth. You shall speak that living water constantly. All right? We don't want to hear your opinion. We don't want to hear how you feel about a situation. We don't want to hear these things. Speak these things. Like I was talking about my grandfather. I brought into the play that he was austere. Bringing it to understanding that Yahawashi was known as an austere man. And how much more austere is the Father? Going back to Jeremiah 6:16, those old paths of men being austere, which Esau has tried to diminish off of this planet. So that austereness is what you younger brothers, around 19, 20, 21, etc., right? You may need to understand. You claim to be serious, but you have to really understand that, hey, if something is given to you, it's given to you for a reason. We're not speaking out of the side of our mouth, to tell you, I hate it when we deal with, like, the brother, going back to the brother Ashton. If y'all remember Ashton, man, we dealt with that brother. We took his questions. We went back and forth. We tried to explain it to him. And it just all ended up being a waste of time. Now, ultimately, not a waste of time because the sheep were fed, right? But with him, it was a waste of time on him, on his part, because he ultimately he had a doctrine in his head that he couldn't escape, right? So he did not take it to heart. His intentions were never pure in the beginning. he never was able to obtain the fear of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, right? And I don't want to see that for any of my other brothers, man. That's why the scripture says to subdue your own understanding. So leave all of those worldly things alone. Those trends. Don't bring that mess in the truth. I ain't talking about looking at the chat, talking to the chat like, hey, chat. No. All right? We are men of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. So don't bring worldly ways into this truth thinking that it's going to fly and you're going to add that worldliness to this. No, man. You should be cleaning out that worldliness. You should be getting away from that worldliness. You should be moving further into the old paths because the old paths are beneficial to you, not the ways that Esau has influenced over you. All right? Brother got out Psalms 119 and 97. Oh, how love I thy law. It is my meditation all the day. Exactly. Perfect. You know, these scriptures, these laws, commandments, and statutes. Right? So with that being said, wrapping it up is you're not going to know the law in one sitting. You're not going to know the law in 1 week. You're not going to know it and understand it all in 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, man. Okay? 4 years, 3 years, you still going to be learning. 12 years, 10 years, you're still going to be learning. Now, look, man, about 4 years, 3 years, you should have a good understanding of what you are a part of. You should have a good understanding of what's going on, you know. And some brothers pick it up faster, some brothers pick it up slower, whatever it may be. All right. But before you go forth and produce lessons, you need to fully know what's going on. Because if you're producing lessons and you don't truly have a good understanding and a good grip, then really you don't want to be a regurgitator. All right. You want to teach it because you know it, not teach it because somebody showed it to you. And you like, well, this brother said this and this brother said, what if that brother was off? What if that brother was wrong? Then you just regurgitating some wrong shit. That's why you need to learn it and understand it for yourself. All right. Furthermore, taking it back to the elders and watching the breakdowns, getting that understanding, taking it to secular timelines, matching it up with history, getting the understanding over there, right? And fully understanding it. Not just being a copycat Israelite, okay? Yeah, rightfully dividing the word of truth. A workman needed not to be ashamed. Exactly. You know, I'll get that for you, Ak. Then we're going to break it down. If anybody got any type of questions, y'all can ask them now. Acts 17 and 11. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily, whether these things were so. Kind of the church of Berea. So studying, verifying, trusting but verifying, learning it for yourself, right? We went over Proverbs, the first chapter a little bit. We went over Proverbs, the 4th chapter, 2nd chapter. We bounced around. You know, go read those things. Read them fully. Read them thoroughly out. All right? Understanding that this fear is extremely important. You know, fear, wisdom. Fear equates to wisdom. It goes into wisdom. You know, yeah, don't take it as a grain of salt. Exactly. Exactly. All right. And hey, with that being said, man, you know, what else come to mind? Just if you serious, it's gonna show because you're gonna be studious and you're gonna be diligent and you're gonna constantly grow and you're gonna constantly learn and apply it to your life, apply it to yourself. It's sometimes you may, we get to talking, man. We brothers, we Jakes, we Israelites, but sometimes we may talk too much. Be mindful if you're over talking brothers, you know, because this thing is also about you fitting in with the chemistry. It's not about, because, hey, we know a lot. Great. I know a lot. You know a lot. My brother Nashar know a lot. Brother Daniela know a lot. Brother Kawam know a lot. Okay, but it's also about let's flow with each other too. Because the scriptures say you're supposed to build up your brother. Let your brother flow. Let your brother do his thing too. I love to see my brothers do their things, man. I love to let brothers do their thing. Like, hey, the brother Yahawashi on my live yesterday, he like, yeah, I got a couple more precepts. I'm like, man, bring them out, bro. Bring them out, bro. You know? But I'm noting, and that brother got a humble spirit. Because he's like, may I bring them out? I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Bring them out. You know what I'm saying? But it's that courtesy. So that's a beautiful thing. It's just that. And it's manners. You know what I'm saying? What y'all talking about on the comments? Yeah, Daniela said, sometimes I tend to do that. I'm working on it. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. The brother Kagama said, just say Salakia. Kai. But hey, it's all good, man, because hey, look, the spirit be flowing and we love to bring it out, man. But hey, I don't see no questions. I guess that individual said he had a serious question. I guess it wasn't that serious. He ain't in here no more. Yeah, I guess it wasn't that serious. All right, but hey, anybody got any questions, just post them in the chat. I'm about to salute and get up out of here. Facing the east, all praises be to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone. Once again, as always, Shalawam to the Lord, told elect, 144,000 men, as well as 1/3, men, women, and children, maintaining themselves. Kwam Yasharahla and a Baba ball to this wicked kingdom. May Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi destroy this bitch yesterday. I don't see no questions or nothing. Okay. If you don't see me, just know I'm here. Hey, man, y'all funny. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all shit. He gonna get y'all ass, bro. All right, man. Shalawam.